Imagine taking a stack of $10 bills, walking to the back door of your restaurant, and just tossing them in the wind. That's what happens every time a server quits and you have to replace them. We asked restaurant operators this year how much it costs to replace different positions in their business. What we found was totally different from the number that most people rely on. When you Google the average cost to hire a restaurant employee, most websites online cite this number. But that's based on a Cornell study that was conducted in 2006, before the iPhone even existed. Today's actual costs vary dramatically by department. When you truly understand how much turnover costs your restaurant, you'll look at hiring and retention completely differently. Hi, I'm Sam from 7 Shifts. When I served at a ramen restaurant, I used 7 Shifts, and now I make videos here. We surveyed 511 restaurant operators across the US about their labor costs. To replace a restaurant employee, on average, it costs $1,056 for front of house staff, $1,491 for back of house staff, and $2,611 for managers. Cooks and chefs need specialized training, so that reflects the cost difference between the front and back of house. And replacing managers costs 147% more than the front of house. That means every manager you retain saves you the equivalent of 2 to 3 servers or hosts. Do you ever wonder why your profits keep shrinking when your sales are steady? It may be from every employee that walks out the door and doesn't come back. It's not just the training time. It's the paperwork, severance pay, time to recruit and hire, and lost productivity. And your customers notice the inconsistent service. The restaurant industry's annual turnover rate is 80%, twice that of other industries. But to understand the true cost of turnover in a restaurant, we have to go into math mode. I can't actually see with these. Let's look at your average restaurant with 20 front of house staff, 10 kitchen staff, and 5 managers. With the industry's 80% turnover rate, every year they're losing 16 people in the front of house, 8 people in the back of house, and 4 managers. So if we do the math, that's 16,896 in the front of house, 11,928 in the back of house, and $10,444 in manager turnover. That's almost $40,000 a year spent replacing employees. Try it yourself. Count how many staff you lost last year. Multiply front of house roles by 1,056, back of house roles by 1,491, and managers by 2,611. How much did it cost you? Get a deeper look at your labor cost with our free labor cost calculator in the description box below. What if you could improve your restaurant turnover by just 10%? Typical Restaurant Inc. would save $4,000 every year. Let's hear from some restaurants on real tactics they use to increase employee satisfaction and lower turnover. 1. Give new hires a 10 out of 10 onboarding experience.
Thousands of companies have used this interview question to improve their onboarding. What is an indulgence that you can't live without that costs less than $20?
Good coffee.
What region of the world do you like to get your coffee from?
I like South America.
Dark roast, medium roast?
I typically go for the darker roast.
You're hired. You sit down and in front of you are your workbooks, but then also this gift bag with a handwritten card from me that says, thank you for joining our team. And then your bag is South American dark roast coffee. Now, why do we do that? I am going to ask you to deliver experiences to our guests that they've never seen before. Shame on me if I don't do it to you first. I need your engagement to be very high soon, because that means knowledge retention will be very high, all because I cared to do something that was better than the minimum for $20.
2. Be flexible when making schedules.
There's a lot of similarities of why people leave in the first 30 days. A couple of those key ones involve around scheduling, just doesn't work for them, and how accessible is it and how flexible is it. That's generally a perk of the restaurant industry. And I think 7 Shifts greatly increases that ability for managers to be able to do that easily, where it's not as much work to accommodate those things. So then they're more willing to do it. And it's also making scheduling easier. So it's getting scheduling out sooner.
3. Involve staff when planning your business.
We want them to feel like their work means something, even if it is just folding dumplings for an 8-hour shift. And one of the ways that we do that is through our open book management system, which we now call team-wide financial engagement, because it's a little bit more accurate. But basically at May, the way we do TFE is we have a quarterly meeting, and we look at the major expense categories and the major revenue categories. We get feedback from people about what they're seeing in their day-to-day work and if they're seeing it reflected in the numbers, what ideas they have for improvements or changes, and we set goals for the next quarter. If you can feel like you know if you're winning or losing, that's a good feeling.
4, if your local laws allow it, consider using a service charge to give a little extra to support staff.
I mean, the Black Pearl, we haven't lost an employee in almost a year and a half. So now they just get a flat 15% commission on any sale, pre-comp, and then any additional gratuities they take with them. And then the 5% that stays in that pool goes to help pay the support staff. You get a longer tenured staff, which, breeds better service and better food and better product. We pay bussers between 16 and 20 bucks an hour. We pay barbacks between $18 and $25 an hour.
5, offer health insurance.
If people think that Zingerman's doing like a revolutionary work by providing health insurance, then we're really behind. That should be basic, not like something that's extra that you're doing for the people. That's a basic level that the employer should be providing in the United States.
You can also simply ask staff what would make them happy. Get managers to check in with employees every few months and gauge their morale. Or if you don't want to think about it, automate your feedback collection. 7 Shifts can ask employees to rate their shifts and tell you who your most and least engaged employees are. Identify team members who are checked out before they leave. 88% of 7 Shifts customers see improved team morale, performance, or retention. Now that you know how much your turnover is actually costing you, you know how much you'll save if you can curb it. A retention strategy directly protects your profits. Experienced servers suggest that second cocktail or dessert. Experienced managers make fewer costly mistakes and build relationships that can turn first-time visitors into loyal regulars. It's not one thing that will convince employees to stay. It's a combination of work culture, compensation package, and growth opportunities. Our research doesn't just cover the cost to hire, it also covers average labor cost percentage and what other restaurants are doing to manage it. Read the full restaurant labor report at the link in the description. Like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more data and insights from other restaurants.